Looky, looky. It's a 2022 Honda Navi with a milk crate mounted on the back. They said it couldn't be done. They said they're all going to laugh at you. Maybe they are. But I'm here to tell you that I mounted a milk crate on the back of my Honda Navi. And it works great. As you can see, I got a couple of heavy-duty rubber tarp straps wrapped around the optional luggage rack or gear rack, the optional rear rack upgrade that I added to the bike. And those straps just wrap around that rear rack and the milk crate just fine. I got this milk crate from Walmart. It's a real lightweight milk crate. You might want to opt for something a little beefier. This is just for a proof of concept. But the same approach will apply with a beefier cart or a beefier crate too. It'll just work better because then the crate will be more rigid. So yeah, I just used a couple of beefy rubber tarp straps to wrap around that rack through those holes, and works great. Now notice how you want to position the crate over that rear rack so that the holes grab the rack and not just around the crate. I think it just grips a little bit better this way. And as you'll see shortly, there is a little bit of tinkering with the straps to get them to be the optimal length so it grips really well. And I'll show you that really shortly here. So here are the rubber tarp straps that I'm using to secure the milk crate. As you can see, I've modified them a little bit because I wanted to make them the exact length so that I have optimum grab and grip, but so they're tight enough but not too tight so that they don't fail, they don't break or anything. So what I did is I went down to my local Ace Hardware and I picked up a couple of these tarp straps. They come different lengths. I started with this one, the smallest one that they sold. Maybe they make even smaller. This is the smaller one that was available at our local store, and even this one was too long. So I knew I was going to have to modify this, and I didn't like the idea of having two hooks. That just seemed like there would be too much play. So I knew I had to make it shorter, and I knew that I wanted to just use one hook. So to make it shorter, I just drilled a hole through the rubber. But I thought, if I'm going to drill a hole through the rubber, look at how these are made. Where the hole is, it's beefier there. And so I figured, if I put a hole in this thinner part, it might not hold up. So I figured, why not get the beefiest strap I can if I'm going to shorten it anyway? And that's exactly what I did. I went for this longer, I think it's a 3-footer. So that way it's a lot thicker strap, it's a lot wider strap, there's a lot more rubber there to kind of take some abuse. And what I did is I kept, for each one of the straps, I kept the factory end, and that's what I used to connect because it's got a nice taper to it. It's kind of easier to get the hook in there. So I used this one. I kept that for that end. And then on the other end, I just cut it to length. And I figured out through some trial and error just about exactly where I had to drill that hole. And I've got the length between the two holes I've got for you in the description below. It's about, as you can see, it's about a foot, but I've got the exact length in the description. So I took out one hook from here, from this end. On the other end, I cut it to length and drilled that hole exactly where it needed to be. Once I had the hole drilled, then I left about 3/4 to an inch on there because I figured that's about what they've got on the factory end. So I want at least that much on my end. And then I took one of the hooks and put it back in there. And I'm just going to use one hook because I think it's just a little bit more secure that way. There's a little less play. So that's how I made my custom straps. Again, look for the exact length between holes down below. This was originally a 3-foot rubber tarp strap, and I just cut it down, and I'm using it with just one hook. And let's see how these go in there. They go in really easy. and I'll show you that next. Okay, so how do you wrap the rubber tarp straps around the rear rack? Well, this all starts with, in the first place, you have to upgrade your metal rail on the back of your seat to the optional upgrade rear rack that Honda sells. And that's what I did here. I think it cost me $49.99 plus shipping. And it's easy peasy to install. Trust me, you do not need a YouTube video for this. It's that easy. Although there are some YouTube videos out there for that if you want somebody to walk you through it, but could not be easier. There's 4 bolts. You just undo the bolts, remove the original rack, place the new rack, and replace the bolts with a couple of metal clips that come with the new rack. So once I got the rack on there, I had everything that I need to put that milk crate on, and I do that with these straps. So what I do is I just fish one of the straps up through this spot right here where there's generous, room to do so. Then I kind of slide it around like that. And I just kind of leave it dangling up there so that there's plenty to work with to put through the rack. And then I do that with the other one. Again, I go over here where there's plenty of room and then slide it over into the narrow area. And then I've got these 2 straps just waiting for the milk crate to go on. And notice, because of the shape of the rear rack, when those straps are on there really tight, they can't really slide left and right because the holes in the crate are keeping them spaced where they need to be. And then this taper here keeps, you'd have to really stretch out those straps to get them over this taper. And so that keeps everything from moving side to side. And then, of course, nothing's going to move forward and backward because of the tightness of those straps. So once you get the straps placed there, you're ready to place the rack, place the milk crate. Okay, so how do we get this milk crate on these straps? I just put the bottom onto those straps like so. It's going to be kind of hard to keep my camera positioned here, but actually it might be easier just to do it like this. Trying to hold my camera and do this at the same time. But all right, so I got the 2 rubber straps sticking up through there. And now I just need to pull each one taut and start it down through the hole on the other side. And then what I'm going to do is go underneath. And I can't show you this part because it's just, there's no way for me to hold my camera while I do it. But I go underneath and I just take the 2 ends and I run that hook that's already secured into one end into the other end that doesn't have a hook. And yeah, easy peasy. So there you have it. The straps are on, they're secured, and the crate is secured. And if we look underneath here, you can see where those straps clasp with those hooks, and it's really secure. Those straps aren't going anywhere. And how sturdy is this? You can see there's a little bit of play there, but it's not because of the straps. It's because of this cheap Walmart crate. This thing is designed to hold office files, not to hold gallons of milk or quarts of milk or anything like that, like back in the day. So if you want something really rigid without this play, you would just get a real milk crate, which I know they're for sale, they're available. Just didn't have them at Walmart, and I wanted to do this proof of concept, and I think this will work just fine for my needs. So what would you why do you want to do this? Why do you want a milk crate on the back of your Navi or any motorcycle? Well, I can think of a couple of reasons. There's stuff that you want to haul that's just not going to fit in that front luggage container or storage container. And maybe you're not going a long distance and you just need to haul some stuff, and it's great for that. I can think of a couple of examples. Maybe I want to go to the local Piggly Wiggly and pick up a few cartons of eggs, a loaf of bread, and that fits really nicely in the milk crate. Keep it under 100, you'll be just fine. That stuff's not going anywhere. Or maybe I want to do some fishing down at my favorite fishing hole just off one of the ATV trails, and I need to cart some stuff down there. I can fit my, I got to haul those fish home somehow. I can fit my 5-gallon pail in there. I can even fit a Plano tray full of lures and whatever else I need in there. Maybe some bait. Stuff that's not going to fit in that little storage compartment in the front of the Navi. So, yeah, great for fishing. I'll have a separate video on turning my Navi into a fishing rig, like I said, in a separate video. But as you can see here, great for fishing as well. One more thing I should mention, when you're not using the milk crate, you can just store those rubber tarp straps right on the rear rack like that. Just fasten them like you would if you had the milk crate on there, but just without the milk crate. And they're not going anywhere, and you won't lose them. And it tells everybody that you're actually using your rear rack on your Navi. So, nice little feature. Okay, folks, so there you have it. Honda Navi with a milk crate mounted on the back. I just took it for a spin, put a couple miles on the Navi with the milk crate on the back, hauling this 5-gallon bucket with some odds and ends inside, and nothing fell out. Worked just fine. I think if you had a typical milk crate, a more rigid one, it would be even better. But this is actually going to work just fine for my needs. But yeah, if you had a typical milk crate, it would be a lot more rigid and feel a lot more secure. But I'm going to stick with this one because it was inexpensive and it's light, and the price is right. So yeah, you can't haul too much in this. The rear rack accessory that I upgraded to has a max weight limit of 3 kilograms, which is about 6.6 or 6.7 pounds. So you can't haul a ton. Of course, they triple engineer these things. So if they say 6 or 7 pounds, you can probably put 20 pounds in there and it's not going to hurt anything. But plenty capacity for me to haul a bucket of fish home from my local fishing hole, or to bring home a few cartons of eggs and a couple loaves of bread or whatever, what have you. So there you have it. Hope you like the review or the how-to, and I'll probably be doing a few more of these videos as I learn how to maintain my Navi and come up with a couple other tips and tricks for you. So please like and subscribe.